Good evening, everyone. We are going to start tonight's business with a public hearing. I will call the public hearing to order and begin by reading the public hearing statement. This public hearing is being held pursuant to Section 465 of the Local Government Act. During this public hearing, anyone who believes that his or her interest is affected by the proposed development will be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard or to present written submissions respecting matters contained in the bylaws that are the subject of this hearing. All information, correspondence, petitions, or reports that have been received concerning the subject bylaws have been made available to the public. Council may ask questions of staff and the public, but once the hearing is over, no new information can be received. Council debate on the bylaw will take place when the bylaw is considered after the conclusion of the public hearing. That will be tonight. At that time, any questions of staff will be for clarification purposes only. I will be inviting the public to come forward and present their comments. Speakers are asked to state their name and address for the record, and they are encouraged to limit their remarks to 5 minutes, and it should include all of the relevant information in their presentation. Further opportunity will be afforded for all persons who wish to speak a second or third time once all persons have had an opportunity to speak. I would now like to ask the planner to introduce the item, zoning bylaw amendment, cannabis production M1A, bylaw number 2019-034.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Application Z19-010 is an application to add cannabis licensed production as a permitted principal use in the M1A zone. In October 2018, Council adopted bylaw 2018-027, which added this use to both the M1 and M2 industrial zones. That's heavy and light industrial. As the M1A zone only includes 2 properties and is immediately adjacent to M1 zoned parcels where this use is permitted, staff recommends that Council give bylaw 2019-034 a third reading and forward the bylaw to the Ministry of Transportation for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to invite anyone that wishes to speak to this matter to the podium. And again, please state your name and address for the record before beginning your comments.
Hi, my name is Nolan Grant. I live at 11316 Sanborn. It is the property that is on the other side of the long rectangle in between. In my opinion, I think that it's not really a good place for the cannabis, being that there's kids in this area. It's already kind of a mix of light industrial, residential, and agricultural, my land being ALR. But just at the corner of Renee Street, I guess you call it, is a School District 67 bus stop as well too. And recently approved is the Hunters Hill community that will be above this industrial section and my property, containing roughly 150 some odd homes in the end. So I mean, that could be a fair size percentage of the Summerland population that is surrounded by this kind of industrial cannabis use. So in my thinking, I think that it's not the best place for it, being that we're kind of, or council has decided to go more residential in that area than commercial and industrial.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
My name is Krista Liver at 17814 Bentley Road. The two square ones below the top red is ours. So we're quite surrounded by the development going on in there, and for the most part been quite supportive of the development. I just concur with it's quite the mix of a residential, light industrial. It's quite unique. We did just purchase it a couple of years ago, partly in some part because of the uniqueness. We do like to be a little bit off the beaten track, a little bit out in this area. It was appealing to us. This development is literal backyard. I know we like to say, use that expression in our backyard, but that is quite literal. There's a row of lilacs that will separate our residents from this development. So just having reviewed, I mean, progress happens and we understand that, and new different types of business is a fact, but I guess my main concern is looking through the Federation of Canadian Municipalities guideline for cannabis for municipalities bringing this type of use in is adherence, I guess, into like the proper air filtration, I imagine, is part of this. Outdoor storage, I'm sure, is being discussed. But my experience, I worked in municipal compliance for many years, and I know that even the best intentioned business owners get complacent over time. So my immediate concern is outdoor storage. We did some legal research that the use of butane is common in separating the oils. My concern is where is it being stored? And just because there's rules that it's not supposed to be, I mean, I know that tends to happen. Also, part of our decision to live in an area like this was to have minimal neighbors. The smell of cannabis use is a concern for my husband and I, who, by the way, is just away on some training, or he'd like to be here as well. It's we're highly sensitive to it. We thought purchasing in an area like this kept us far away, or as much as you can do. So air filtration, our main concern is in a year or 2 years from now, will any concerns that we have, if they're starting to get the smell, or if storage is starting to be an issue, will our concerns be taken into account, or will it be, sorry, it's approved, there's nothing that you can do? That's our main concern. Outdoor storage and the air filtration. It just is, it's a personal health concern. We both come from law enforcement and have spent our entire lives prior to the legalization of this with a certain focus towards cannabis. So the letter, of course, seeing those words just generally was a bit upsetting, but then when you think about it, think it through, we understand, we've got to work together, but those are our two main concerns, and I hope that they're addressed and any concerns in the future are taken seriously. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Casey Campbell. I'm at 15917 Bentley Place. We are across the street and on the top of the hill from Reddy Street. I'm concerned about the prospect of a cannabis production facility in the industrial district being an attractive nuisance. I'm concerned about the potential for increased policing costs. I'm concerned about appropriate security measures. I'm concerned about a smell. As I understand it, there's a whole industry burgeoning right now devoted to the removal of cannabis odor from the production of cannabis. I understand that the production of cannabis puts strain on utilities, water, electricity. I'm worried that we may not have the infrastructure required in order to support that, in addition to the Hunter Hill development above.
Thank you. I'll ask for a second time. Is there anyone that would care to come to the podium and address this matter?
Hello, my name is Brian Montemiro. I'm located at 3241 Vernon, Phillips Drive. So I've come in with just some general knowledge into these cannabis facilities. Pardon me, I'm not a public speaker, but I've been designing cannabis facilities for about 26 years, bringing in the odor mitigation into effect for these people. We're looking at new technologies as well as old technologies on this specific area. We have quite a large interest in it. We've looked at, probably about 21 different odor mitigation procedures to go into effect for this specific application. Also looking at the water usage. This will be a zero waste system so that we can actually mitigate the amount of water used in these facilities. So trying to voice and get everybody's concerns here today, and just kind of, appease with the technologies that we have available for us. So odor mitigation and wastewater treatment, as well as usage of water. And if there's any information, we've given drawings and plans on security and for odor mitigation control. And we'd be happy to give you guys those plans as well, just for general information. Thank you.
Thank you. For the third and final time, is there anyone in the gallery that would like to speak to this matter? Okay. So I will now adjourn the meeting. And again, we cannot hear any new information after adjournment. Is there somebody that would bring that forward, please?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Van Elfen, Councillor Patton, all those in favor? Okay, so this meeting is adjourned. So now I will call to order our regular council meeting for November the 25th. Are there any late items, Corporate Officer?
There are none.
Okay, thank you. Could I ask someone to bring forward approval of this agenda? Councillor Barkwell, Councillor Van Elfen, all those in favor? Great. No meeting minutes to be adopted, so we're moving right on to our public comment opportunity. The total time is 15 minutes maximum, and you're welcome to speak to any of the items that are listed on either one of the monitors. They're identical. And you have 2 minutes to speak. And again, please approach the podium and begin with your name and address. Thank you. Oh, there, that's easier to read. Quiet group tonight. All right. Seeing no interest there, I will bring forward my mayor's report. Budget discussions continued over the last 2 weeks with discussions on November 12th, 19th, and 20th. Tomorrow evening, the district hosts its first of 2 open houses on budget matters. This first one is about proposed utility rates for 2020. Staff will be presenting the draft rates and how and why these rates are being proposed. Question and answer period will follow the formal presentation, and residents are also encouraged to ask questions of any of the staff in attendance and/or provide written feedback. The open house is in this room, council chambers, from 4 to 7. On November the 13th, I carpooled to Kamloops to attend the Southern Ontario Local Government Association, SILGA, executive meeting. The association has also organized a day-long workshop. The association has organized a day-long workshop with Emergency Management BC on Friday, December the 6th, to hear about the proposed legislation and discuss the most important issues around emergency management. The session is open to all SILGA members and First Peoples involved in emergency operations in the region. Our CAO, Chief Glenn Noble, our fire chief, and I are attending. Council, you're also welcome to attend as elected officials. Still with SILGA, we are planning for the 2020 SILGA convention in Vernon. Feedback provided following last year's convention is being used to ensure that the sessions, workshops, and networking events are productive and respond to as many membership suggestions or requests as possible. Also on November the 13th, I attended, as did all of the councillors, except for Doug, who was on holidays. Welcome back again, Doug. Also on November the 13th, I attended the Pickleball, Tennis, and Dog Parks Open House. The session was presented by a Summerland consultant who gave a detailed presentation that was followed by a busy question and answer session. The district also provided opportunity for people to submit written comments. I look forward to tomorrow night's utility rates open house being as well attended as this one was. Correct, Director of Finance?
We will wait and see.
Yes. November the 14th and 15th were 2 full days with RDOS, first with strategic planning and the second with grant and aid presentations, followed by preliminary discussions. Councillor Holmes attended both days. He's also a director on RDOS. And Mr. Haddad and alternate Councillor Trainer attended the strategic planning session. November the 21st was a regular RDOS day, meaning we set the budget discussion aside to conduct other business. Of interest to Summerland is our participation with RDOS and others on a joint childcare assessment grant application. Council feels that a region-wide assessment not only gives Summerland data, but also situates our need for childcare within the broader region. Council and I welcome everyone to the 32nd Annual Festival of Lights this Friday. There are several changes this year that, if everything goes according to plan, will make the celebration even more amazing. I'd also would like you not to forget that on Saturday morning, the Summerland Fire Department is serving breakfast at Second Home. So the men and women that are in our fire departments are serving breakfast, and that is to fundraise for the Toys for Tots and Teens campaign. Before I end my report, I would like to recognize and welcome the younger people that are with us tonight. These people are Summerland secondary students, school students, and they are here representing the early formation of what we hope will be a youth council in our schools. Councillor Holmes and Councillor Trainer are also part of the Youth Council. So welcome all of you. I hope that you find something of interest here tonight. Thanks. CAO.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. So again, just to reiterate, the November 26th, tomorrow afternoon and evening's open house for the budget. A big thanks to the district staff led through the finance division for the work they've put into the process so far. So we're really looking forward to the community attending that and giving us some input on the utilities and as we get into the general budget over the next couple of months. Had the chance to have a site tour through Ripley Stainless earlier in the week. So a fantastic business in the community, obviously well involved in the beverage industry in the region and all over British Columbia, but fascinating to hear their emerging stainless steel hot tub industry is just coming to the fore right now and in the process of selling them locally and internationally. So again, a fantastic business, and getting to know the community's been fantastic over the last couple of weeks. Couple of updates from our recreation department. Summerland Skating Club hosted a regional interclub competition with 34 competition categories at the Summerland Arena on November 22nd to the 24th, which was fantastic. We also have a free family skate with Santa event on Sunday, December 8th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Summerland Arena. Please bring a donation to the food bank for that event. And finally, we have an open house on December 4th for our draft Community Climate Action Plan, which was presented to Council earlier this afternoon at our Committee of the Whole. So we look forward to seeing the community between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. in Council Chambers on December 4th to find out more around our Community Climate Action Plan. Thank you.
Thank you. On to item 9, business arising from Committee of the Whole and closed sessions, and I will pass this over to Karen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just at the November 12th, 2019 closed session of Council, the following persons were appointed to the Agricultural Advisory Committee for a term to expire on March 31, 2021, and that would be Don Barron and Steve Lorney.
Great. Thank you. So on to item 10, bylaws, beginning with 10.1, the zoning bylaw amendment for the public hearing that was held earlier this evening, cannabis production, bylaw number 2019-034, and this is third reading. Do you have anything else that you would like to add, Mr. Planner?
Thank you, Your Worship. I have nothing to add.
Okay. So, questions of our planner? Councillor Carlson.
My question is more of a confirmation. What's the difference between the Bentley industrial versus the other industrial areas that we have that wouldn't have to go through a rezoning process for cannabis at this point in time?
In 2018, when the cannabis production bylaw was considered, at that time, only the M1 and the M2 zones were flagged for consideration. That may have to do with the M1A zone is not prevalent within the district, and staff at the time didn't consider that it would be viable for cannabis production. However, since then, the owners of the property have come forward and asked to have it considered. And the M1A zone is relatively similar to the M1 zone. There are a few business industrial uses that are different, but for all intents and purposes, they're very similar zones.
Thank you.
Councillor Van Elfen?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't know if this can be answered, but in that facility, in that industrial park, is there not a distillery?
Your Worship, I'm not certain, but I do believe one of the tenants in the building is a distillery.
So they're making alcohol there. Thank you.
Councillor Holmes?
Just a few questions for clarification. So the surrounding properties, those are all zoned agriculture?
Yes, Your Worship.
And what is the OCP designation for all those properties on that side of Bentley?
Madam Mayor, if you can afford me a moment here. The OCP designation for all of the properties on the screen is light industrial.
And it's been like that for some time?
I believe since the last zoning bylaw update, Your Worship.
Okay, and one other, and do we know anything about the history of the M1A zone, how that came to be? I mean, it's a bit of an anomaly, and do we know why and what the A to me implies agriculture, but I'm wondering where the A came from.
The A, I believe, is just the first letter in the alphabet, so the easiest one to use, Your Worship. It was, as I understand it, originally designed to be more of a business use rather than a classical industrial zone. There are uses in there such as radio broadcasting use, which it's odd to get a little that into the weeds with specific uses, but it did look like it was trying to promote more of a business center than a light industrial use on this zone.
Okay. Any other? Oh, Councillor Patton and then Councillor Barkwell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If I may, to our planner. When a permit comes in for this type of building classification, is a mechanical engineer going to be required to be involved for the ventilation system within the space?
Your Worship, I apologize. I'm not a building inspector, so I don't have the answer to that question.
Okay. Did you want to speak?
Yeah, through the Chair, Your Worship, most likely when the permit comes in, I think ventilation is probably going to be one of the bigger issues attached to the permit coming in, so I would assume so. I don't 100% know, but most likely that that'll be part of the permit requirement.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Barkwell.
A couple of things, Your Worship. I noticed we have a Ministry of Transport's preliminary approval letter, just a procedural thing. Doesn't that mean we could also give it fourth reading tonight?
General, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe that the a zoning bylaw does need a clear day between third reading and adoption. So I believe the earliest that this could actually be adopted would be Wednesday. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Worship.
All right, thanks. I was just looking for the map. Is this map that's on the board here now in our agenda?
It should have been.
Well, anyhow, what I was trying to figure out was the size of the industrial area there. How could you give me an approximate size? acres or hectares?
Of the 2 lots in red?
Well, yeah, and that's the entire industrial area there then? The rest is still agriculturally zoned, you said
That's
earlier?
correct,
Yeah.
Your Worship. The smaller parcel to the north is approximately 2 acres, and the larger parcel is approximately 4.7 acres.
Okay, so, thanks.
Councillor Carlson?
Just to follow on that one, the entire eastern side of that road is all zoned industrial and has been for a very long time. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. This statement comes out of the previous report that was attached to our public hearing agenda. It's on the second page, the last line of the last paragraph, of the third paragraph. If council chooses to amend the M1A zone to include this use, are we talking about the cannabis production use?
That is correct.
Then the owners will still need to undertake to apply to the ALC to have the covenant that was put on that land when it was taken out of the ALR. So, okay, so the owners are aware of that?
Yes, that has been right.
Okay, good, thank you. Any other questions of our planner? Nope. Okay. So could I have somebody bring this forward and then we can start deliberating on it? Councillor Van Elfen?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The zoning bylaw amendment, cannabis production, M1A, bylaw number 2019-034, be read a third time.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder? Councillor Traynor? Okay, open for discussion. Councillor Barkwell?
Yeah, I'm mindful of the comments that we heard this evening, the concerns raised, and certainly odor is the chief concern, I would say. I expect security will be good, and my understanding is that the biofilters are the only real method that works, and I'm hoping that staff put that into their building requirements or their zoning. I don't know exactly the technical way it gets in there, but that's what I would like to see. But in general, I think that we have to consider that when you're living next to an industrial area, you can expect that there could be industries there that might cause a little bit more disturbance than just a regular neighborhood. Without naming names, I can think of many other possible permitted uses that would be far more disturbing than what this proposal would be. So I think I'll be voting, unless I hear something compelling from my fellow councillors, I'll be supporting the motion.
Thank you. I'm not sure who I should direct my question to. One of the people that spoke mentioned a concern about the strain on utilities, I guess both water and the electrical utility. Can you speak to that, or Kevin?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As with any building permit or change of use, the supply of the services is something that is going to come up at that point. And if the supply does not meet the need, then it will be on the developer or the builder or the business owner to upgrade the system in order to meet the appropriate supply if they want to continue on with their project.
Okay, thank you. So you don't have concerns in that regard then?
Not at the moment. The building that is there, that is proposing to house this use, has already gone through all of the building permit process.
Okay.
So there is adequate supply for the structure that is there, and I am told by our building inspector that it is a very well-built structure. So it would have had this. It would have enough supply for the building as it is, and any other uses would have to address that on a case-by-case basis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Patton?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If I may, when it comes to our water supply, Is there any way that we can ensure that a double check valve assembly is put onto that water, so there is any contamination that comes back, it doesn't affect our water supply there? And the other thing that I would like to also
Certainly, odor control is something we need to get a handle on regardless of wherever cannabis production facility is placed anywhere in the community. So I think we need to make sure we have that down pat. I think it's, we did it, I guess with the previous council now, prior to legalization, we did a lot of, we had a lot of debate and a lot of public discussion about where we wanted to see, where the community wanted to see cannabis facilities, and I think it was pretty unanimous that the best place for